All right, coming up on this episode of Sound Culture, Brendon and I are going to be talking about Sweden's Sweethearts First Aid Kit.
Yeah, and their 2018 album, Ruins.
Yes, and this is actually a really good name for the album because it is it's about the end of a relationship and also about them kind of recovering from some familial issues.
Yeah, the beauty that can come from chaos.
So you're going to want to check this one out.
Definitely. Hello!
All right, we're back for another episode of Sound Culture. I'm Tim.
And I'm Brendon.
And today we're going to be talking about 2018 album by First Aid Kit.
Called Ruins.
And this is going to be a really fun one for us to do because Brendon and I both really like First Aid Kit. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of been following them since 2008 when they first got together.
Yeah, actually. In 2008, everybody probably knows about it. They did a cover of Tiger Mountain Peasant Song by Fleet Foxes.
Yes.
I absolutely love the Fleet Foxes, especially back then when they were still kind of new. And
you loved them before they were cool.
Yeah, before he was cool, man. But I thought they just did a bang-up job, and I'm not surprised that they became so successful. But that was basically what kickstarted their career. Right?
Yeah. So they released that demo on MySpace, and then it found its way onto YouTube and other social media. Actually, they also did a demo song called Tangerine in Swedish radio, and it was like a crazy summer hit.
Yeah, it was rated, I think, the best song according to what was it? It was a magazine or something.
Yeah, but
Sweden,
it was in the country of Sweden where they originate from. It was like the song.
The song of the summer.
Yeah,
it
so
has a real summery feel to it, totally.
And so let's do a little bit of a history lesson. So First Aid Kit kind of got their start in 2008, and then after that they successively released 3 albums. The first one called The Big Black and the Blue in 2010. Then a second one called The Lines Were in 2012, and then their third one was Stay Gold, thank you, in 2014. And then after that, what happened?
They had a complete breakdown. They'd been touring too much, and they just had enough of each other, and both of them were experiencing the exact same symptoms in different ways, and they were both doing interviews and saying kind of the same thing. Yeah. So, which is totally understandable. That amount of touring, especially with a sister, might drive you a little bit crazy. So they took a little bit of a break, but it wasn't a tragedy. It was actually a good thing because it gave them the time they needed to sort of heal and transform into what they are now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so the two sisters are Joanna and Clara Soderberg.
Yeah, Soderberg. Yeah.
And they actually have a family history of music.
Yeah, their father was actually part of a Swedish pop band. What was it? Lolita Pop, I think.
Yeah.
They were called. Yeah.
And he produced their first album. So
yeah, the 2010 album, right?
Right, The Big Black and the Blue.
Yeah.
And so they've always been really involved in music in their family, and they actually and I don't think I mentioned this in our pre-discussion, but they're heavily influenced by country songs from like the 1930s and 40s through. So they're influenced by the Louvin brothers and Graham Parsons and Emmylou Harris and even June Carter and Johnny Cash. So you can actually feel that country western kind of
I think that's why they're so popular, is because they're these beautiful girls playing old style but kind of modern music, and it's this nice little fusion, and it's I think people just love it.
Yeah, so some of the singles off the album are It's a Shame and Postcard and Fireworks was the third one. And they were all kind of released fairly shortly apart. And I think they're actually on the first half of the album. I'm going to just confirm that. It's a Shame, Fireworks, and Postcards, so I mixed up the order. But, point being is, and this is actually, I said this in my blog post when I did this, Brendon, the first half of the album, really, really solid. It's really good to listen to. And then, as you get into the album, I think that's where some people kind of get a little bit divisive on it.
Yeah, some people, I feel like they got a little bored with it almost, because there are some mixed reviews for sure. Some people said that like, how long can they get away with making revisions to the original model where the law of diminishing returns kicks in and whatnot, and it seems like they're just kind of like they're doing the same thing over and over again. But it's tough because you can almost argue that with all bands. They have their own kind of style. But at the same time, I can kind of see it. And, you know, one of the reasons I think that people think that is because they really focus on vocal harmonies. You can just hear it in any of their songs. They have a very similar harmony. When you look at the music theory behind it, whatever interval it is, I'm pretty sure they use very similar intervals in each one of them because it all has that sound, if you know what I mean. And I think that's what people recognize, and they're like, yeah, it's this country pop song, and it's got that same, you know, fourth interval thing in it, and it just sounds familiar. How long are they gonna do it? But I still think it sounds great, and I think it's really unique and really calming on the mind.
And I want to add add to that idea. You know, music of that era, it didn't diverge a lot. Like you'd see artists producing lots of the same tracks over and over again, and they'd be getting successive hits.
And just keep getting better and better.
And people wanted that. So as much as it maybe not a sound for everybody, people who appreciate this kind of music, I think personally, can see that quality in them, and I see it. And I think they should keep doing what they're good at. I mean, it's an interesting sound for our current musical landscape.
Yeah, and I think they have great musicianship. I think they're wonderful musicians and extremely talented. And they were even nominated for a Brit Award, so they're definitely doing something right. Even if they're getting mixed reviews by some people, I think they should keep going the direction they're going, because it's sort of a niche there, and it's really popular.
And we kind of alluded to this in the beginning of the video, but the fact that the album is called Ruins is very thematic. The younger sister Claire actually went through a breakup around the time that her and Joanna kind of decided to put the band on hiatus or whatever. And it's an album that sort of explores how a relationship falls apart, and then what you're left with is usually, you know, bits and pieces. And so again, it's very, in some ways you might say it's on the nose, but I think it's a very poetic way to describe that. And
it's not a negative thing too when it says ruins. It's not like, oh, the world is just over now, but something has to crumble down in order for something else to be reborn. And usually there's some growth and some learning, and it's definitely meaningful.
So that said, I think First Aid Kit's fourth album, Ruins, is great. It fits in with their canon.
I like it, and it's nice and short. It's only like 40 minutes long or something like that, and it's really just soothing to the ears.
And this is the kind of, you said hippie music earlier, but I think
totally hippie
music. It's a particular brand of country and folk music.
Yeah, that's the politically correct way to say.
Yeah. So if you like the review, please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Let us know if you don't agree with us. We'd be happy to hear why you think this isn't as good, or why they're on the downturn, or whatever you think.
And if you like these reviews, please subscribe, because we got lots more coming.
Yeah, and hit the bell for notifications.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching Sound Culture.
Great minds think alike, hey?
We're so like, let's put our phones on ring. I put it on because I was cleaning up, waiting for you guys to show up, and I just figured if I put it on, then that way I'd hear it if I was shaving or whatever, and then I forgot to turn it off. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about First Aid Kit.
All right.